Hey, it's Joel, the 3D printing nerd. How do you take Fallout 4, Maker's Muse YouTube channel, and a potted plant and put it all together? I'm going to show you. You ready? Go. Happy 2016, you guys. One of my Christmas presents this year were these mugs for Moscow Mules. They're very tasty. It's 2 shots of vodka, a shot of lime juice, and ginger beer to the top after you filled it with ice. Cheers, mates. Refreshing. Here's how the story goes. I uploaded a video vlog late last year, and in that vlog, after showing off some of my printers here in the office, I panned across this plant. It's a spider plant, and it's potted, and it's in a purple pot, which holds the regular pot. Remind me to water it. My buddy Angus, who produces the Maker's Muse YouTube channel, saw this plant and thought it looked sad, and he said, you know, Joel, you have these gMax printers with ginormous build volumes. How can you have a plant without a 3D printed pot? He makes a very good point. I've been watching the Maker's Muse channel for quite some time, and Angus is a very bright fellow. He is quite skilled with 3D printing. In fact, in his latest project, and the one where he mentioned my sad plant, he was pulling resource files from Fallout 4 and bringing the models into Mesh Mixer and Mesh Lab and making it so they could be 3D printed. And in fact, he took the mini-nuke. He took the mini-nuke and he made it 3D printable. When he made the mini-nuke 3D printable, he took the top off and he hollowed it out a bit and he made a planter out of it. And I think if you go up there, you can see his videos up there, and you can click on that and go watch his video on that. But he challenged me. Angus said, look, Joel, you've got these gMax printers, you can build big. Why don't you 3D print a giant pot for this plant? And in fact, he said, here's my mini-nuke plant pot. Why not print that on your gMax printer? And I thought, no one calls me chicken. I mean, no one challenges me. It's about to throw down. First things first, I downloaded it, and then I brought it into Simplify 3D. Here we are in Simplify 3D, and here's the mini-nuke right here. This shows my complete build volume I'm able to accomplish on the gMax 1.5 XT Plus, and the mini-nuke is kind of small. So I'm going to double click it, and I'm going to double its size. I'm going to go 200% on the scale. It's huge. I love that. I love that. All right. I'm going to do supports. I'm going to say from the build platform only, support pillar resolution is going to be 4 millimeters. And I'm going to generate automatic supports. Awesome. Let's scroll it around. There's some that I can remove because I don't need that. I don't need that one. Looks like the rest are good. I did find that because the bottom isn't truly flat, it used supports on some of the pieces that I thought should be flat. And if we zoom in, nice and tight, you can see the bottom right through here is not flat. So the fix for that is to go up here to the offset and change the Z offset. I'm going to go down 3 millimeters. And the printer's only going to print things that are above the bed. Now if we go back to automatic support generation, it doesn't do anything under there because it's below the print bed. Oh shoot, gotta remove that one again, go away. There we go. Let's check our settings. I'm gonna do 5% infill. These are my nozzle settings and my extrusion multiplier. This coasting distance means it's going to stop extruding 1 millimeter before it needs to stop extruding, I guess. Let's see what they define it as. It's the distance that the nozzle will stop extruding prior to the end of a loop. That means any of the leftover stuff that's just kind of coming out will come out and it'll cover that 1 millimeter. I'm doing 0.28 millimeter layer heights for top layers, 3 bottom layers, and 2 perimeters. Doing a brim, it's 4 millimeters from the model. There's my 5% infill. I'm generating support material. I'm using Simplify 3D's 30% infill until we get close to the part, and then we'll do 70% for the dense infill as we're closer. And what that does, it allows for a better lower part. I'm printing this using ColorFab PLA, and I'm printing at 209 degrees centigrade. At layer 3, the cooling fan is going to kick on to 80% and just cool it like crazy. The gMax 1.5 XT Plus supports auto bed leveling with the BL Touch sensor, so I'm calling G29 in my G code. The ending script looks good. I'm going to print this at 80 millimeters a second, but I'm going to let Simplify 3D adjust the speed depending on how fast it's going. Oh, that looks good. All right, let's prepare to print. I love Simplify 3D. It's probably the fastest slicer. No joke about that. There it is. It's reading the G code. It's parsing it. Come on, come on. There it is. There's the model. Wow, it's huge. I love that. Okay, 14 hours, 7 minutes. It's going to use 1.11 pounds of filament. That 14 hours and 7 minute estimate is a little bit off. In Simplify 3D, it's not an exact estimate, and usually it'll take 2 to 3 hours more on a build of this size. So I'm going to anticipate this taking roughly 17 hours. Well, this looks good. I'm going to save this off to the SD card. Now I need to load some filament into the printer. You're probably asking yourself, why am I using ColorFab PLA to do this? Angus used the 3D Fuel algae PLAs to print his, and well, I tried that. And here's my result. It was going pretty well, but I didn't have my print settings quite right, and that's why it looks like it's furry, because I guess technically it is furry. And if you look, here's my roll. You don't see any more on the roll. This was printing, and I thought I'd calculated it outright, and I set an alarm at 5 o'clock in the morning to change the spool because I knew I was going to run out, because I only had a half spool here and a half spool of the algae out there. I ended up waking up at 5:30, and unfortunately my calculations were precise, and the alarm I set for 5 a.m. to wake myself up to change the filament was actually 5 p.m. Yeah, that didn't work. So I've got a base of an algae PLA flower pot. I'm going to talk to 3D Fuel and maybe get some more of this material, because it's wonderful material. I like it a lot. I really don't have much anymore. So I had to switch to ColorFab. Now that I've switched to ColorFab, I have my own problems as well. Here's a roll of ColorFab white PLA. You can see I don't have much of it. Here's some more of my rolls of ColorFab white PLA. I counted in total 12. 12 partially used to mostly used rolls of ColorFab white PLA. So it's a bit of a challenge, because I'm going to have to change out the filament before it runs out. This means staying up and setting alarms and trying to see if I can get there in time. I'm going to film this in a time lapse, because shoot, this is going to be epic. I should film this in a time lapse, right? Okay, so here's the plan. I'm going to print with ColorFab. I'm going to switch out the rolls when they get close to end. I'm going to film a time lapse so that you can see it printing, and hopefully we come up with something really good. Fingers crossed. All right, time lapse. I'm a little shocked and surprised in a very good way because it came off the build plate fantastically easy. And the support structures also came off incredibly easy. Simplify 3D is known for creating supports on models that are easy to remove, and this was just a testament to that. Oh, look at that. Here's the model. Here it is. This is the mini-nuke that Angus made, and it's at 200%. There's some stringing here. There's some stringing here in the bottom, and while it was printing, since some of the supports started failing, it printed in midair a little bit, but it started cooling and it recovered. So it's flat on these pieces. It's mostly flat here. It's got some stringing, but a plant doesn't care if there's stringing in the bottom of its pot, right? Looks like there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drainage holes in the bottom. Does it fit on my head? It doesn't make a good hat. Or I have too big of a head. You can kind of see here, let's see, right here where there's some space in the outer perimeter, and that's where I did a filament change, and as filament was coming out of the extruder when I loaded it, I pulled it out, and it pulled out some that was in the hot end, and so it didn't have any to extrude here. But again, a plant doesn't care if there's a little space in the outer perimeter. You can see a difference in color here, and that's because this is the standard white and this is the bright white here, and so it's a different color, but a plant really doesn't care about the color of its pot. Echo! This is awesome. Oh man, this came out really well. All right, let's go outside and test this out. We're gonna plant a plant. Hey, look, we're outside. This is Sydney here. Sydney just had her tonsils removed, so she can't speak up, but she can wave and she can high five. All right. All right, Sid, first thing we need to do, put some dirt in the bottom of our mini-nuke flower pot. Yeah, just scoop it. Scoop it out. All right, yep, that much. Just pour it in. There we go. Let's take this guy out. That'll be perfect, okay. Yep, put some dirt around the sides. We're outside, you can make a mess. Can I help? That's fun. There we go.
Can I water it later?
Yeah, you can water it later. Is that good? That's probably good. A little bit? Okay, a little bit right there. Alright. Look at that. We've got a plant in a mini-nuke flower pot. Hey, good job, Sid. High five again. Alright. Holy cow, we did it! We planted a plant in a 3D printed plant pot. Thanks again to Angus for making this mini-nuke plant pot. Thanks for letting me print this and featuring it on my channel. You guys check out the Maker's Muse channel. It's a fantastic channel. The channel will be down below. Angus is a fantastic guy. Angus, I love you, brother. Let's keep doing things together. This is fun. This is a real world example of two people coming together across great distances to make the world a better place. And in this case, it was just finding a better pot for my plant. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Give it a big thumbs up if you thought this was cool. Give it a big thumbs up if you want Angus and I to collaborate on future projects. Share this video with your friends. Hey, maybe you have a plant that's really sad and needs a 3D printed plant pot. Maybe you like Fallout 4 and you just want your pots to be mini nukes. I don't know. Hey, regardless of all of that, thanks again for watching. This was a lot of fun, and I'm glad you came along on this journey. As always, high five.